On the line, dream analyst and, of course, psychotherapist, author of the book, The Definitive Book of Dreams. Paul, how are you?
I'm very good, Fergal. How are you?
I'm very good. Paul, we generally ask people to send in their age, their sex, and, of course, all the details they have of any dreams they have so that you can interpret them. Louise has got in contact. She's 32 years of age. She says, I'm out walking on a country road. As I look ahead, I see a male lion up the road walking in the same direction as me. I momentarily panic and hide in an old shed. My sudden movement attracts the attention of the lion, and he comes back and tries to push through the door of the shed. He's too strong for me and breaks in. I think that by standing still, he won't see me. He then sits down on top of me and falls asleep. I'm too afraid to move it in case he wakes up.
Wow. Okay, let's start with the start of it. She's out and walking on a country road. She's looking ahead, looking into the future, I suppose, looking ahead, and she sees a lion. Of all the things to see on a country road, a lion, but it's a male lion. So I think this has got to do with her relationships with males. She's probably a little bit in fear of males, and her sudden movement, her abrupt movement, attracts the attention of the male. So I would say that's unwanted male attention.
Unwanted male attention, really? From that, I would. Okay.
Yeah, but look what she does, Fergal. She goes and she hides herself away. And she tries to make sure that the lion won't find her. But he comes back and he finds her. And he pushes his way through the door. I suppose that's the boundaries between them. And her reaction is really to do nothing. She's like paralysed with fear. Maybe an attitude, anything for an easy life. She's actually in a relationship or has had a relationship like this, where she's been dominated by a male. He comes in and she doesn't move. He sits on her. So that can be like the weight of the relationship. Okay. Where he's smothering her, stifling her, and she can't do anything while he's there, while he's like that. So I think this is a relationship either she's currently having or did have.
Okay, so that's brilliant. To be honest, I'm blown away by that. I wouldn't have got any of that at all. But what would be your advice here? This is obviously a destructive enough relationship if she's feeling like that.
Indeed, she has to kind of look at her attitude to males and what that attitude is and where has it come from, because it's come from her life experience. But sometimes people will generalise attitudes and kind of go, well, all men are bastards, all men are bad, and they're trouble.
I've heard it a million times.
And it's not fair, and it's not actually true. So you get what it is you think of. If that's her expectation of a relationship, that's what she gets. So she needs to change her expectation.
Okay, Martina's 22. She's in Galway. She has got in contact with this dream. She says, I have a dream where I get up to go to the toilet, but the bathroom is turned into a maze. I get lost. I'm really bursting to go. I'm just on the verge and I find the toilet. I sit on it, but suddenly realise the other people can see me. It's like the loo's in the middle of the street.
Oh, right. Going to the loo in public. That's actually a very common dream that people have. But it can be precipitated by, having a full bladder in the middle of the night, getting up, being a bit disorientated, not fully awake, trying to find your way out of the room, hands along the walls and all that kind of thing. So I would say she was a little bit disorientated, and her mind tries to interpret that. So we're better to be disorientated in a maze. She's confused. I think... Well, she might physically need to go to the loo. If you kind of take it outside of that, in real life, she's probably trying to find a way to relieve herself of something. And it's problematic.
Right.
It's something she's carrying around, and she wants to do it privately, of course, so that nobody would see her. But when she does get an opportunity to relieve herself, to get rid of this problem, she feels exposed. I mean, you couldn't be more exposed, sitting on a loo on a street with people around. Yeah, so she feels uncomfortable. Other people would see her and would know then about what it is she's trying to get rid of.
It's almost like airing your dirty laundry in public, kind of.
It is, and it's a little bit like the dream the other week, Fergal, where somebody had buried somebody in the middle of the night, had murdered somebody, and done it in the middle of the night and didn't want anybody to know.
Yeah, something they're guilty about. Okay, let's move on from there. Sean is only 19. He's got in contact. He says, lads, my dream is where a friend of mine calls around in his brand new car. It's bright red. He's got 4 exhausts out the back of it. It's the coolest looking thing I've ever seen. I sit in the passenger side, but then I'm driving. I go faster and faster because I'm being egged on by my friend. I come up against traffic and I seem to be able to navigate through all the spaces where nobody else could fit a car like that. I feel brilliant, but then I have to give the car over to my friend again and I feel he's jealous of me.
Wow. This is an example of what we call in psychology projection, where somebody projects something out onto somebody else. Sean is saying that his friend might be jealous of him. I'd say it's the other way around, because after all, Sean has had this dream, not his friend. So again, looking at the start of it, Fergal, it's a brand new car, red car. He doesn't say the make of it, of course, but I get the impression it's a sporty kind of a car. Red is a vibrant colour. It's powerful with 4 exhausts. That represents Sean. represents the dreamer. But at the start of the dream, he gets in the passenger side, but being a passenger in a car might be you're not actively participating in something, maybe not actively participating in life, but then he jumps into the driver's seat where he's in the seat of power, control. And he's going faster and faster than being. I would think that's pushing the boundaries, and young lads would do that in cars anyway. They seem to feel that they're immortal or impervious to any harm. So it's pushing the boundaries of what he can do, and he likes it because he can do things with the car that nobody else can do. He can get in and out of tight spaces, and maybe that's reflective of him in life, getting in and out of tight spaces. So he wants to be regarded, I think, as special.
Successful people are always resented, and I think he's starting to learn that.
Yeah, and I think he wants to be regarded as being special or exceptional. He can do things others can't do. And he likes his audience. He's getting the approval of his friend. But in the end, since it isn't his car, it's not his vehicle in the first place, he has to give it back. So I think Sean is jealous of his friend. His friend has something that he doesn't have. And you know, it might not be a bright, shiny car. It could be some aspects of your personality, like charisma or charm. Or character.
Yeah.
You know, character could be a metaphor for those things. It's
oftentimes dreams do that. Oftentimes dreams can do that. You have told me this before. We're going to have to wrap it at that for this week, Paul. Thank you so much for joining. Remember, if you have any dreams, do send them into 53102, or you can email them as well to live@todayfm.com. Paul, until next week, I salute you.